prospector helping you scale your sales team, whether you're an agency or a small business. Hey, sales is not a dirty word. Thank you so much for joining me on the Walk and Talk. So, okay, I'm back in Vegas. For those of you that saw the last one, yes, I am in Vegas. I know a lot of people who've been to Las Vegas are probably thinking he's lying. This is not Las Vegas. Okay, maybe. I'm not lying, but we are pretty much in Vegas. I'm 20 minutes away from my back or from my front door. So I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, not Las Vegas, New Mexico, because this would be what Las Vegas, New Mexico looks like. But I right now in Las Vegas, it's like 100, like 98 degrees. So I was like, I want to go and chill literally for my walk today. So I jumped in the car, drove 20 minutes, and it's 71 degrees right now here on beautiful Mount Charleston, 20 minutes away from my front door. So don't be jealous. It's okay. You can hate. I don't blame you if you do, because Las Vegas is so amazing. People don't even realize it. They only know about the Strip, okay? We've got a ski resort in our backyard. We've got the world's largest man-made lake, which, although it is shrinking quickly, kind of sucks. Hopefully that thing fills up again, because when I was a kid, I used to go out there and jump off the cliffs and stuff, and that's done. Like, you ain't jumping off of cliffs, you're jumping into sand, okay? And that's no fun. But anyways, yeah, Vegas is awesome. We've got, quick 4-hour flight pretty much to anywhere you really want to go in the country. The West Coast, hello, the best place in the world to travel to. A shout out to everybody in San Diego, one of my favorite cities, Denver, Colorado, Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Utah, Washington, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, all these cities. Come on, way better than like going out to Florida, Tampa, Florida. Who wants to go out there and sweat, like literally puddles, when you could go into this? It's 71 degrees, no humidity, it's just gorgeous. All right. So I have blabbed on enough. Thank you guys for joining me again. Man, things are so amazing. It's like a couple things I probably never told anybody in the very beginning. If you just started watching my videos, I started walking about 3 months ago. Now I've been a vegan, not a weird vegan. For those of you that are vegan who are weird, no offense. But I've been a plant-based diet, or a whole food plant-based eater for quite a while, like since 2018-ish. And I did it because of health, because I needed to, and it helped me tremendously. I originally was over 300 pounds, dropped that weight, got down to my lowest weight, which was somewhere in the 170 range. I want to say it was like 175. 175 is like right around where I was. And then once I hit that weight, I had a challenge. COVID hit, and I ended up getting myopericarditis, one of the two. I don't know. My doctor the ER said it was myocarditis. The heart doctor told me it was peri, was not that big deal. He said, I'm going to be all right, which, by the way, I am all right. And, I've had plenty of, I had the MRI, the one you go in and they actually like scan everything. They call it the gold standard. So I'm good. No damage, no nothing. But anyways, during that time when I got sick, I was having a lot of problems. Even though I was extremely healthy, I was having a lot of problems, and it caused me to go to the doctor a lot. And the problems that I was having was like palpitations like crazy, which was coming from having an enlarged heart. I don't suggest it. You don't want an enlarged heart. Hearts are better when they're, small. When somebody says you have a big heart, they have no idea. But anyways, so I, when I was seeing the doctor, my blood pressure was really low. My blood pressure was running like 100 over 60 something, right? Which is funny because that's where it is now. And I just thought that was scary because my blood pressure was never that low. And And on top of that, like I said, I was having all these heart palpitations and stuff from having the enlarged heart. And my heart doctor was like, bro, just relax. They knew how strict and regimented I was back then on my eating. I wasn't working out back then, but I was eating healthy. And they said, have some salt. That'll help raise your blood pressure. Have a glass of wine on the weekends to relax. Well, you don't tell somebody like me who doesn't do anything a little bit to do something like that, because what did I do? I went ahead and went all out, and from 2020 until 2020, well, actually into 2020. So from 2020, the end of 2020, all the way till like 24, I just kept on slowly getting fatter and fatter again. Even though I never changed my way of eating, adding a couple glasses of wine to your diet on the weekends, on Fridays, then it went to Saturday, and then sometimes Sunday, why not? Doing that one thing is what caused me to eat a little bit. If I sound a little distracted every now and then, I'm just watching these cars that are coming at me, just giving them a wave to let them know I see them and make sure they see me. But anyways, adding a little bit of extra calories from the wine, and then whatever you feel like eating that you shouldn't be eating, like popcorn, or maybe having a nice vegan pizza, which is not healthy, by the way. Found that out the hard way. But, doing those things, I creeped back up over 210 pounds. So or right around 210 pounds. Maybe I went above it. I never really weighed myself because I started doing the thing that I stopped, or that I did last time when I got really heavy, over 300 pounds back early, before I lost all this weight. I stopped weighing myself because, why weigh yourself? Because it's just going to tell you need to lose weight. So 3 months ago, one day out of the blue, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for a walk. That's it. I'm going to stop not moving, and I'm going to start moving. So I put on my shoes, my New Balances, which, by the way, let me tell you something. New Balance. Heck yeah, New Balance. I've always loved New Balance, but I got these New Balances. Check these out. Those are my New Balance Freeform 1080s, okay? If you've not been to the New Balance store, if you are a walker or runner, I cannot tell you how freaking amazing these shoes are. But anyways, I put on my New Balances and took off out the door and just walked for the first day, like I said, like somewhere 8,000, 10,000 steps, something like that. I can't remember exactly. And then I just kept on stepping that up. I got this app that helped me track it. It's called Pedometer, and kept on stepping that up. It was giving me motivation because it's gamified, and it's like, you did a good job, keep on going. And so I did. And the more I did it, the more my brain started to change. And the more my brain started to change, the more like I cared about other things. So I changed my diet. I went back to my one meal a day, which has always been really good for me, OMAD, even though I was eating healthy, mostly healthy, with my, having cheat days of having, where I would eat like vegan Indian food or vegan pizza on the weekends. Man, you can gain weight so fast doing that. But anyways, I did that. Went to the OMAD, went back to one meal a day. And that was about, all of that happened somewhere around 3 months ago. And I went from 210 pounds. Now today, I hit a milestone, 188. So I'm officially about 14 pounds away, somewhere around that, 14 pounds away from my lowest weight, which the difference between now and then is that I'm actually working out, not just walking, but also doing push-ups. And I'm going to be doing some additional weight training to get my full body in shape. So, the whole deal, abs, arms, chest, back, the whole deal. I'm going to get me a personal trainer here pretty soon. So if you're following all of that, watch me, hold me accountable. If you watch this 2 years from now and you're like, hey, you're still fat, call me out. I won't be, though, because my mind already has changed. Like, this is something I never did before. I never walked. I never moved. I just lost the weight by eating healthy, which, you know, I mean, they say that it's 90% diet and 10% exercise, but what they don't tell you, because I believe that is true, weight pours off if you eat healthy, and, you know, whether you exercise or not. But the motivation that you are going to get from working out is like a game changer. Like, I didn't have this attitude. I didn't have these things that I have now. And so life is so good. That's why I get to take walks in beautiful places like this that's 20 minutes away from my house in the middle of the day while a lot of people are working, you know? And I mean, gosh, life is good. Like, I'm out enjoying a nice, you know, hour and a half walk through this beautiful scenery. And I could be slaving away at my computer, which I used to do. I used to tell myself, Mark, you need to work really hard. You got to stay there all day long and put in, you know, 14, 18 hours a day. If you don't care about your business. But I do care about my business. That's why I'm not working 18 hours, 14 hours a day right now. I'm working on myself for 3 of those hours every day, because this me is a better me for my business. That's kind of weird. I didn't even really mean to come up with that, but that's kind of prolific. I am working on me for 3 hours a day because this me is a better me for my business. I'm going to remember that. Anyways, so I wanted to tell you guys a hack that give me the ability to be this me, to be able to do what I'm doing right now. I could have done it a long time ago. I should have done it a long time ago, but now I am, and that's all that matters. But I want to give you a sales hack. This is a sales hack. And I mean, I've sold millions and millions and millions and millions on the phone. I can't even tell you how many millions, but so many millions, it should be illegal. And I started out in selling on the phone, B2B selling, in 1990 something, 98, 99. I can't remember exactly when, because I was too busy chasing girls and doing a bunch of other stuff that I shouldn't have been doing back then. So I have like poor memory, but I started around then, and I was taught like hardcore selling strategies, the stuff that you hear from, you know, the guys that are selling the business opportunity stuff. I don't even know who they are because I don't really follow them, but that kind of stuff. And I got really good at that. So my selling I never had to worry about selling because I had those kind of skills. But after I opened my marketing agency in 2010, actually 2009, 2010 is kind of when I started that. When I started my marketing agency, I accidentally fell into a new approach. And I call it my no smoke and mirror sales approach. No smoke and mirrors sales approach. So my sales approach started off first with generating really good quality leads. So the way I did this was I would go to somebody's website. I'd make a Jing video, which you can do it with Loom these days, but I would do a Loom video of their website, a 5-minute Loom, and the software was free for 5 minutes, so it was really good. If you had to go over 5 minutes, then you'd have to pay. So they accidentally helped me make sure I didn't, you know, go on and on about stuff that didn't matter, because nobody wanted to watch a video more than 5 minutes. So I would do a 5-minute video of their website, and I would explain to them, listen, getting traffic and converting it is really tough. And the stuff that you're doing right now is working, but if you make some changes to your website, it's not just going to help you with the conversions on your website, but it's also going to help you with the traffic as well. And that's because Google loves to reward people who have their visitors stick on their site. Now, this was the thing back in 2010. It's been a long time since I've sold SEO, but that was the thing. It was like, get those visitors on your site to stay and convert. And not only are you going to get more leads, but Google's going to send you more traffic. And that's what I would teach them. I'd say, listen, if you'd move this button here and you'd add a form here and you'd, make sure up here there's a good clear call to action and all that stuff, then this is what it's going to do, and you're going to destroy your competitors. And by the way, these are your keywords. I used to go really all out. And I'd make these videos. I'd make like 30 or 40 of them a day. And I'd send them to the prospect via the email or through their form on their website. And then I would respond to them, email them, call them, just to follow up to make sure that they got it. And when I got them on the phone, now obviously I'd already built some value up front. I wasn't like everybody else that was trying to hard sell them. I was providing them value, and then calling about that was easy, right? Calling about the thing that I just gave them was really super easy. I didn't feel guilty at all. I actually felt like I owed it to them to follow up, to make sure that they had a chance to watch the video. And by the way, the cool thing about Loom these days, which I didn't have back then, you get a notification when somebody watches your video now. So, hello, they watch your video, you should be calling them. Put their phone number in the title of the video. So that's a hack. So that way, no matter where you are, when you get the email notification, you could just call them. Anyways, so when I called them, I'm still somebody who they don't know, right? I'm still somebody, it looks like my car is coming up. I'm going to cross the road. I'm still somebody that they don't know. So that meant that I had to go in and, build trust. And nowadays it's even worse than it was back then. Trust is super hard to get from people because, there's so many scams out there. You got all these people who don't know what they're doing that are learning on their client's dime. And, which I don't know if I wouldn't say that's the worst thing to do, but be honest with your clients that, you're just learning. And, if you have to do it for free for a while, do it. But, the way I would build value up front with them, or the way I would, get them to trust me, was to sell them in a way which I called, like I said, my no smoke in the mirror sales approach. Actually, I'm across the road again because this is still a ways enough. It may be a little dangerous. The way that I would start my pitch was like, hey, listen, obviously, as you know, getting on the first page of Google is super value, but it's really hard. A lot of people make this sound super easy, and it's not. So I just want to tell you up front, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to do in order to get on the first page of Google and to stick, right? So you're going to have to rebuild your website. The website you have right now is just not going to work, mainly because it just wasn't built correctly in the very beginning. Now, I wouldn't lie to them about that. If it wasn't true, then fine. For example, back then, WordPress was really, really hot. Google was giving WordPress such authority, mainly, I think, because just the way that it was built over the traditional sites. And you had the way to serve up the content really well. It had like the descriptions and the meta descriptions and the titles and all the good stuff that you could do. Plus there was plugins and blah, blah, blah. But I would tell them that, listen, you got to rebuild your site. And on top of that, you really have to work on your content. You are going to have a content writer that's going to write content that actually matters, not just some spammy content with all of your keywords stuffed in it. Google's not stupid. They know now. On top of that, you got to build backlinks to your site. On top of that, you're going to need citations. This is going to take a lot of work. But, and here's where the good news came in. So I would sell them up front with all of the problems. Problem. And then I would tell them, but here's the good news. The good news is once you do this, you are impervious to whatever Google decides to do because you did exactly what they want. And now you've got a reputation that is super solid. There's a police officer. I'm sure I'm doing everything that I should be doing. I'm just a upstanding citizen taking a walk, right? But anyways, so the pitch ends with the benefit. The benefit is once you do all this, once you take the hard work and put it into action, now you're golden. Your business is solid. You've got this new asset that's like not going to come off the internet. So much so, by the way, I lost customers because of that, because they really didn't have to worry about it. So if you're an SEO, you know what I'm talking about. Once they got on the first page of Google, the people who didn't care, I'm looking in Now I'm looking behind me, by the way. I don't know if you could tell. Okay, I'm off the road. So, you know, my customers who weren't cool, they'd stop, which I don't blame them. They'd stop paying me once they knew that it was solid. You know, 6 months later or so, they would just stop paying me, and there's nothing I could do about it. But the good news is everything I told them was true. Once you get on the first page of Google for those keywords, your competition's not doing what you're doing, so you're pretty much there. So I like to be like, use that as my entire mantra in all ways of my business. Cars right there. In all areas of my business and my life now, it's do all of the tough stuff, talk about all the tough stuff. Don't sell only the sizzle up front. It used to be the model, sell the sizzle, not the steak. Yes, you should sell the vacation, not the trip. Okay, I'm standing at my car now because I don't want to drive and do this, but you know, sell the vacation, not the trip. I get that, but you really do want to make sure that the people know what they're getting into up front and sell all of that, because once they get the benefit that they were hoping for at the end, it's going to make it sweet, and yeah, and it's also going to be a lot more believable. You're not going to have to lie. You're just going to tell them the truth and they'll believe you, right? So that's it. No smoke and mirror sales approach. Guys, one more big benefit for those of you that are sticking around to the end, I want to give you, okay? We have a free school group. If you've never heard of School, it's a really cool community where you can create content, share it with your members, and you know, I have the ability to charge for it, but right now it's free for anybody who decides to join. So it's school, SKOOL.com/hot prospector. So if you go to school.com/hot prospector and request to join, you could join for free. And I've got all kinds of stuff that we're adding in there that I won't be putting on YouTube. Some of it I will, but a lot of stuff that you can't get anywhere else. I've got this really cool calculator that I'm working on, talking about selling up front, like with talking about all the hard work and stuff like that needs to be done, but makes it really sexy to sell. And I'm going to be giving that away soon. This is a calculator that, you know, kind of something that we used to do manually before, but now it's like a complete software that your customers can put in some data, and then boom, they're going to see how much you'll be able to help them after they put in this data. So that'll be coming out really soon, and you're going to get it for free if you're inside of my school community, school.com/SKOOL.com/hot prospector. There's already some other training in there. It'll teach you how to get your first customer if you haven't gotten one yet. If you're an agency, we also help you with scaling up your or helping you increase your customers, your clients, conversions on their customers, on their leads. We also have some training on, you know, how to improve your speed to lead, just a bunch of stuff. I can't even go into it here. There's just too much to go over. All right, so go ahead, jump on in. It's free. I will approve you as quickly as I get back down to the car, or back down to my house, which is in about 20 minutes if you're really a fast action taker. By the way, I want to tell everybody who's been following me on this, thank you so much for following me. It actually does help tremendously. I have been, like, actually, I didn't want to do these videos. I don't really like doing them because I'm kind of an introvert and it's weird, but I'm telling myself right now, hey, nobody's even watching. So I'm just talking to myself. That's why I probably even, you know, go off on tangents a lot, is because I'm just talking to whoever, whatever. But thank you so much for watching. So if you could, just to let me know that you did watch this to the end, I want to tell you, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this. If you would put something below to let me know that you saw this, whatever you think is wise, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but put something there just so I know that you did see this to the end. All right. I'm out of here. I will see you next time.